All right, so we're back today. A Brave series just ended, and so I wanted to do a recap of the series and the state of the Padres so far. So, since I already did the first game, I guess I might as well just talk about game 2, 3, and 4. I think what I'll do is I'll just start talking about instead of talking about each game, I'm gonna wait till the end of the series and just talk about my thoughts on the series as a whole, because you can't get like a real good read on like how a player or multiple players are doing until you see them play through multiple games, right? So I think like a good example would be like a Rise, how he's kind of struggling right now. And like if you only took like game one like in a vacuum or something, like you obviously it would be kind of unfair. But now that we've seen him sort of struggle, or obviously struggle, for the past 4 games, you know that something might be off. So yeah, Rise is a good example of that. I'm not really worried about him though. I think they showed that stat line on ESPN that he was like 0-13 on the Marlins last season, and then he ends up winning the batting title anyway. So I'm not worried about him. Okay, so let's just start with game 2, I guess. We'll do like a little bit of a plot synopsis on each game that I didn't cover, and then maybe some like final thoughts or something. Okay, so yeah, Tatis homered in his first at bat, I think on the second pitch, 410 feet, 110.6, 111 off the bat. Tatis is a fucking G. Like, he looks so good. Tatis, I mean, he's playing like 2021 Tatis right now, so if he doesn't get injured, he could definitely be an MVP candidate. But we'll see. It'll be obviously like Ohtani will probably be the winner, but he'll definitely, if he plays like this, he's got like what, 3 or 4 steals now. You can include the game 4. Point is, he's popping off right now, and it's nice to see, and hopefully it'll keep going. Oh yeah, and then I wrote, oh yeah, okay, so the injuries that Tatis has had in the past and the suspension have made his contract seem kind of bad, but considering like what some of the other players are getting right now, like Soto and obviously Ohtani, and like he's definitely up in that caliber, his contract still looks pretty good. He's got 10 more years. It was a 14-year, 340 mil contract, but he's down to 10 years, and we're going to start to pay like the big parts of that pretty soon. But I think it'll be a good contract, and definitely in comparison to like what Soto is getting. And just how much expensive guys are getting right now. His contract seems like a fucking steal, so that's pretty good. Xander got a big hit in game 2, 112 off the bat. That was really cool. Xander was hitting the ball hard pretty much the whole series. I think in game 4 as well, he had another really nice hit. Cease had a solid outing. He went 4 1/3. I guess it was a decent outing, not solid. 90 pitches, and that was game 2 is when they also kind of battled really hard like they did in game 1. It was really annoying, especially Profar. Pretty much the whole Braves lineup was battling really hard. Then Morahone came in, he did good, no runs. Oh yeah, another thing that happened in game 2 was that both Elias Diaz and Martin Maldonado in game 1 and 2 were dropping a lot of pitches thrown to them. And a lot of balls were just kind of like hitting the dirt and not being caught. So could be scary, but I mean, maybe that's just something to keep an eye on. But we'll see. Because, if they can't handle the pitches that they're seeing now, they're definitely not going to be able to handle Matt Waldron when he comes in with the knuckleball. So, yeah, let's see. Oh, yeah, Jason Adam came in. He was great. And game 2 was the one Crone hit that no-doubter in the 8th inning, lefty, and it ended up being the difference in the game. We won 4-3. That was an awesome homer into the Crone zone. Lefty homers are always, in my opinion, lefty homers are the most cool. They're just the coolest home runs that you can hit, in my opinion. They just they look way cooler than any other one for some reason. I know righties look cool, but I think lefties, just like the way it comes off the bat, it just looks really cool. And then in the ninth inning to close it, Robert Suarez came in, and a pitch hit him in the shin and bounced off of him, and then it went to Arise, and he ended up getting the out. So we got a multiple lucky bounces off multiple Padre pitchers that went our way. And then that was also the game where Estrada threw a pitch to the backstop, and we were able to grab it and throw the guy out, because it was would have been a strikeout. The catcher grabbed it and he threw it to first. And then so game 3. Let's see what notes I have for this. Manny came out. Game 3 was pretty boring, to be honest, unless you really are into pitching, which I kind of am, but it wasn't most entertaining. Manny had that cramp. Manny had the cramp in his ankle in like the 4th or 5th inning. When they were showing the replay of that play, it didn't really look that bad. I didn't really think anything looked awkward or weird in the swing. And I was thinking cramp initially when I saw it live. So thankfully, I think it was the right idea by Schilt to play it safe and pull him out. And it ended up being a cramp. So he was still able to come back on Sunday. And he was big on Sunday, as we'll discuss later on. But it's nice that Manny wasn't injured in the end. What else happened? Oh yeah, okay. So Randy Vasquez, 6 innings, 0 runs, 4 walks, which is a little high, obviously, but still pretty young dude, so he's got time to learn. And he looked pretty calm, even when there were a lot of guys on the base path, and he was calm under pressure, and which is kind of like what he was last year. He just stayed calm, made his pitches when he needed to, and he got out of the jams. So, and then also in this game, Tatis had that like almost robbery of a homer from Matt Olson that ended up being a double. Thankfully, Tatis didn't hurt his wrist there, because I think when he went down, he like fell awkwardly on his wrist. He looked like he was like holding it kind of weird. And I was like, oh shit, here we go again. And also on the replay, it was kind of funny that he ended up kind of like just chucking it back to Merrill to throw it in. He couldn't have a good throw while on his knees. So yeah. And oh yeah, when they were reviewing that, if they had called that shit a homer, I would have been really fucking pissed. Because last year when we were in Miami, Ha-Sung Kim had a similar play where like the ball hit the player, and then it ricocheted off them, and it hit like the top of the wall. But then Kim's went over the wall. I don't know, maybe some of you will remember that, but Kim's went over the wall. So if they had called, and they didn't call that a home run, which was bullshit in my opinion, that was a home run. And there's a few other clips that are similar that people posted about that where they did call it a home run, and I think that ended up costing us that game. So but thank God this time the refs got it right and it wasn't a home run. We didn't get screwed over, so that was good. And then also, this was the game where Crone got a hit and it hit the pitchers like in the foot, and it went into the Braves dugout. We got a double. And this is just part of this series, it seems. It seems like this series, even in Game 4, which we're about to talk about, or a lot of hits have been hitting pitchers, and they all pretty much went our way. I think one didn't go our way. There was like 5 or 6 that ended up like favoring us heavily, like where we would get a double or where we would get like an out. And then in the Game 4 we're about to talk about, we get a double play off a pitch that hits our pitcher or something. Pretty crazy luck, but that's just baseball luck, so Crone gets that double, and then Gurriel comes in and he gets a pinch hit single to bring in Crone, and that's like that was the only run this game. And it was cool to see like Gurriel, Martin, and Elias Diaz, all the big boys on our team, thick boys coming up with big hits. So that's really cool to see. Hopefully, they can keep that going in the future. And then also in this game, Wandy Peralta did 1 1/3 inning, and he pitched like 10 pitches or 12 pitches or something, and he gave up no runs. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm not used to seeing Wandy Peralta be so good and efficient. So very surprised by that. And I mean, I'm not going to say, like, to be honest, I think he's probably our weakest pitcher, but he didn't look like it in this game at least. So hopefully he can keep it up, because we don't have a lot of high leverage lefties, despite what ESPN, the commentator said, our high end lefties is Morahone. And then that's it. And then Alec Jacob came in the 8th for 2/3 innings, and he got out Austin Riley and Matt Olson, which were huge outs to get. And then Morahone came in, and I posted a short with Morahone getting the last out. I mean, he came in a big situation in the 9th. A lot of our guys, our normal high leverage guys, were resting because they had already pitched back-to-back days. And so we needed someone to come in and be a high leverage guy, and it ended up being Morahone. And it was scary at first because he threw like 5 out of his first 6 pitches were balls. And I was like, oh fuck, here we go. And the guy gets on, they pinch it for him, and it's a low scoring game, fucking 1-0. But he turned it around. I mean, he got Ozzy Albies to pop up, he made Michael Harris ground out, and then he threw like fucking 7 sinkers in a row to get the Braves rookie, I forget his name, the catcher. It was pretty crazy. And that last pitch was definitely a strike. I don't know, some people were saying it wasn't, but it lit up. If they challenged that like it was in spring training or something, they would have still been out. So kind of got lucky this game 3. Probably should have maybe lost this one out of all 4, because we only scored 1 run, and the Braves left a lot of guys on base, but we ended up taking the W because they didn't capitalize. And then lastly, game 4, the first inning, it was Tatis who had that really weird double where he barely hits it, and it goes down the first baseline, and he gets a double out of it. Honestly, the baseball gods were with us this whole fucking series. They were giving us so much luck. And then later on, we would get that double play from Manny after the ball hit Jason Adam. But yeah, and then Manny came up even after the cramp thing the other day, and he came in the first inning and got a double to bring in Toddy, 1-0. And then later on, Xander gets another big hit this series, where I don't know what the speed was off the bat of this one, but it seemed pretty hard hit. And it was down the line, and that was a double that scored another run. Tatis got another stolen base off the secondary catcher for the Braves. Yeah, so the biggest story of this game was the Nick Pivetta throwing 7 innings shutout. He was amazing. He was really, really good this game. The announcer said that maybe it might have been because something Niebla talked to him about moving over a little bit on the pitching mound, just like changing where he starts his windup from, I think. And that completely changed, or at least that's the running theory. It completely changed how he pitched, how the pitches look, and it seems to be working so far. Granted, it's only 1 game, so we'll have to see in the future, but to do 7 shutty against a lineup like the Braves is pretty fucking good. And then, yeah, like I was talking about, Jason Adam got hit by a hit after he threw a pitch, and I think it bounced off of his glove. I'm not sure. The ricochet went to Manny, and he throws it to first, get that out there, and then Arise turns and throws it back to second base. For some reason, Ozuna was leaning like he could go to third. I thought it was a bad idea to do that. Then I realized like who would be covering third if Manny was grabbing the ball. But actually Xander did a really nice play backing up third base, and that kind of put Ozuna in no man's land, and he got hit with a tag for the double play. I think the last thing that happened this game was that Brandon Lockridge got a double in the 8th inning, which was cool to see because that believe that brought in a run. So, and we ended up blanking the Braves again, 5-zip. So we blanked them in back-to-back games. So a really rough start for the Braves and fantastic start for us. And then the funny part about this whole thing is that the Braves start out 0-4, they go to the World Series, and then we start out 4-0. Last time we started out 4-0, we went to the World Series as well. Unfortunately, we lost our World Series. They won their World Series. But yeah, that's a little bit of interesting trivia. Oh yeah, and one more last thing on that Game 4 was Estrada was fucking insane at the end. What the fuck? I heard barely anyone talking about this. Estrada looked super filthy in the fucking 9th inning of the Game 4, fucking dotting every pitch on the corners. It was pretty fucking nasty. Estrada was locked in, and it was just really cool to see him come in for the close. That pretty much sums up all 4 games. Takeaway from the 4 games probably is Tatis is on fire right now. Merrill's on fire right now. Sander looked good. I mean, it's great to start out 4-0. Can't really ask for anything better to start a season. And it keeps us only half a game behind the Dodgers, who are 5-0. Hopefully the Braves can do some damage to them, since they just fucking lost every game to us. So now we're kind of rooting for the Braves to actually play well. And actually, a good thing for them is that they didn't really use a lot of their bullpen versus us, because they were losing every game. So they should have high leverage arms available when they face the Dodgers. So hopefully they can give the Dodgers a few losses. And then we play the Cleveland Guardians. I'm not really sure if they have that good of a team, but I guess we'll find out. I'm pretty sure they still have Class A, which is kind of scary. But we should still beat them. I think we'll beat them 2-1 at least in this series. Hopefully we sweep them. Be nice to go for a sweep. Mike Schilt, I think he's doing a really good job. Every move in the bullpen by Mike Schilt has been fantastic. Gavin Sheets, he's doing really well. Hopefully he can keep it up. I think he got like 2 hits in Game 4, so that was really cool. Oh yeah, I also wanted to talk about, these are just kind of like random things. The yellow Padres hat. The yellow Padres hat in Game 2. Yeah, I was not feeling the yellow hat, the gift that the fans would get if they came to the game. The yellow was like too bright. It looked like the Pirates, Pittsburgh Pirates yellow. The Padres yellow is like a little bit darker, I think, and has almost like an orange hue. The funny part about that, or another thing, is that actually the brown and gold Aloha shirt that Don wore during that Game 2 broadcast that he showed I think it was on his Instagram or something. That looked really cool. So if I was planning to go to a game in April, that would be the one I would plan to go for if I wanted to grab some memorabilia. So yeah, not a fan of the yellow Padres hat. Not nearly as cool as that brown and gold Aloha shirt. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. I'll make another video at the end of the Cleveland series, and we'll do a recap of that one. I think I'll just do like one at the end. I might do some at the beginning, depends, because it has to work around my schedule, but yeah, we'll see. Great start for the Padres, and yeah, that's about it.